I'm from Oak North High School, in Wisconsin. I'm a bass player, and my question.
I was joking about your solos.
I totally agree with you in that respect, most of the time. Anyway, yeah, my question is, in the music industry, I know there's many musicians, that's why it's called an industry, but for the ones that are very successful, what do you think is that one quality, that one thing that they have that sets them apart from other musicians?
It depends on what they're successful at. When jazz, first it's hard to, because the music industry is so broad, and there's so many different types of people who are successful. Some people are successful because they're good musicians. Some are not. Some are successful because they have charisma. Some are successful because they can do one thing very well. Some are successful because, but I think almost all of the people who are successful, who can maintain a level of success, one, they work hard. Two, they know what the audience wants them to give them, and they repeatedly give them that. If it means they have to get in the gym and be in shape, they're in shape. Might not be singing. They might hold a microphone, look like they're singing, might be dancing. So I think it's the hard work, the clarity around what they want to do. It's important to be clear about what you want. If you would rather be famous or a star than be a good musician, don't confuse those two, because they don't go hand in hand. You could be a really good musician, you can climb to like C or B level celebrity if you're really lucky. Never real celebrity. That you have to kind of pursue, whatever that is that those types of people do. Most of us are not going to be that. We'll be really craftsmen and work hard on that. Have your priorities straight. And I think that the clarity of vision is the first thing that leads to success. Is that okay? I like that jacket. It's interesting, man.
I'm David from Badger High School. I love playing jazz, and I want to do it for the rest of my life. But I also want to be able to financially support myself. So I'm just...
You said two things that don't go together.
How did you take this profession? How did it happen?
Okay. Well, a lot of us in our band have fathers that are jazz musicians. A couple have fathers and mothers that are jazz musicians. For me, I saw my father always from the time I was 2. I went to gig with him. There was never more than 8 or 9 people. Ever. I saw him for years. I remember one night seeing him at 1 o'clock in the morning. And there were 2 people in the club and one was asleep. He was black. I'm not exaggerating this at all. And I always wonder, why does this guy keep playing this music? Nobody wants to hear it. When I was in high school, my brother and I played in the funk band. And we were the nicest people at our gigs. The band was popular. I would play our gigs, I would go to my father's gigs and be like, why does he keep playing this? He never made any money. Ever. For any reason. Period. But something about it I liked. I liked the musicians. I didn't like their music so much. I liked them, like the way they talk to each other. They would talk to kids like they were adults. They dealt with you a certain way that was very unusual. When I graduated from high school, when I went into high school, I said, man, I want to be able to play like Coltrane and Miles and Freddie Hubbard and Clark Terry. I want to be like one of those kind of guys that play. I was around my daddy, and nobody I knew wanted to really do that. When I graduated from high school, I had a chance to go to a lot of different colleges, do what I wanted to come to New York, learn how to play. And my mother and all of my teachers were like, man, don't waste your brain on music, or don't go into music, like you're going to end up like your dad. It's always a struggle. You never can make money. Believe me, I grew up always money. There's no money. There's no money. I asked my father, what should I do? My father said, look, man, the only advice I can give you is don't have anything to fall back on. So I thought, okay, here's a guy who struggled his entire life. He had a bunch of kids, couldn't pay for this, couldn't pay for that. And at the end of all of this time of me seeing him year after year after year, frustrated in clubs with 5 or 6 people, his advice to me is don't have anything to fall back on, to play jazz. So I went into it. That's all I'm telling you. 9 of us ended up not playing music. So I always asked them, did they regret studying classical music in college? And now we're all like around that same age. And they, to a person, they say no. What we learned from classical music helped us in everything that we did. So we don't regret studying this music. And what jazz will give you, if you actually study it and get into it, the truth of the music, the reality of it, it will give you the tools to deal with whatever you have to deal with in life. So much more than you can imagine as you get into it. So I always strongly recommend and urge musicians who are playing it, don't give up on it. And regardless of what you decide you're going to do, because you'll do what you have the stomach for. Always keep the music in your life and get closer to it. Because there's a lot in it. Yes, sir.
Hello, I'm Oscar May from Eau Claire North. I play saxophone.
I'm Dr. Claire.
Now I'm kind of straying from the jazz topic for a second.
Got a black shirt on.
How did you go from being a Grammy Award-winning musician of jazz and classical music to introducing Barry Sanders from the NFL's top 100 players?
I don't know. I'm glad they asked me to do that. They asked me to introduce Barry, and I always loved him. As a field football player myself, I like to talk about him. And because I guess I was on TV sometime, they said, would you write a thing on Barry and talk about him? I said, that's the greatest honor that's ever been bestowed on me. Because I love Barry, I loved his work ethic, I love Barry's seriousness, I love Barry's vision, and I love the fact that Barry at a certain point he quit, and he quit. That's what he wanted to do. He had his integrity. I also love that Barry did all that celebrating in the end zone and all that. He was there, you know. Scored a touchdown. I don't have to act like the world is going to happen. Barry Sanders, I'm going to be back.